When I was a sixth grade boy, we had a PE class, and every Friday we would wrestle. And I don't know if you ever did that, if that was something that still goes on, but in Texas, that's what we did. And the whole deal behind that was our junior high coaches were trying to toughen us up because the next year we would play seventh grade football. And that's the first year you can play for your school. So it's a huge, huge deal. And I'm talking every day on Friday, in the lunchroom, we'd be kind of joking with each other who you got today and stuff like that. And we got to challenge who you wanted to go against. Well, we did this every Friday, and then one time in the spring, a varsity football coach comes down to our PE class. And he says, boys, today we're going to find out who the toughest and baddest dude in the room is. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a large bracket. And we're going to have kind of like if you will, like a March Madness of wrestling, okay? And that's what we're going to do. So sure enough, we do it. It takes about 2 days. And at the end of the deal, there's a sixth grade boy. His name's John Booty. True, okay? And John was a mountain of a man, even in sixth grade, okay? And John was an ESL kid. And what I mean by that was English was his second language. It was his first time being in Northeast Texas. Didn't talk a lot, was very shy, okay? This was John's coming out party, all right? He dominates. We're all around the mat. I'm telling you, we're like drum rolling the mat. We're so pumped up for him and all this kind of stuff. The varsity coach comes in, comes right to the center, and right before he says that John's the champion, he says, you got one more match. You got to go against me. We go nuts. I mean, we explode right there. Like, it's on, okay? Sure enough, the whistle comes off of the coach. He tosses it over to one of us. He takes his shirt off, throws it down, and starts beating his chest like this. We're sixth grade boys. I mean, we're going nuts, okay? It's awesome. John's ready to go. He feels it. He's got a good adrenaline rush. He's going to get a running start, and he's coming at this coach, all right? Sure enough, they meet. Bam! They make connection, and John takes him down, pins him. We go nuts. We dogpiled John at the end, and I swear the face that John had at the end of the day was priceless. You could tell how important that made him feel. The varsity coach was my dad, and that was stuff that he could do, and that was something I had a front row seat to nearly all my life. He was just somebody that really cared a lot about kids, always sought out moments to make them feel awesome about themselves, whether they were boys or men, whatever it was. He was really good about that stuff. So I always saw and had this feeling that, there was some magic dust in coaching. I just kind of liked it. I don't know what it was. It fit me. But I never wanted to really commit to it. I don't know if you ever had that kind of deal. You didn't want to become your mother. You didn't want to become your father. I kind of had a little bit of that. I wanted to chart my own path. I was interested in a lot of things, so I wanted to test some other things out. Well, fast forward, and when I get out of college, I graduated with a business degree from the University of Texas. And a buddy of mine, I got you, all right. A buddy of mine had done a Teach for America program all the way out in Los Angeles. He said, hey, Hunter, you ought to check this out. I think you'd be really good at something like this. I know you're still kind of unsure about what you wanted to do. And I was thinking, man, maybe I could go to law school. Maybe I should get a business job, whatever it may be. So I started investigating. It just sounded like a cool deal. And I found a grad school program at Ole Miss that had something modeled just like TFA. 2-year commitment, if you know what that is. You go to like an inner city school, and they say, get after it, pretty much, okay? And you teach, you coach, you volunteer, you do all kinds of different things, and you just kind of max it out. Well, I got placed in an inner city school in Jackson, Mississippi. The school is called Powell Middle School. And my first year, I think I assisted with like 5 sports, taught 3 preps. I was tired, really tired. And then the second year happens, recharged up, and the principal says, hey, Hunter, we've got an opening for something. I think you'd be really good at it. We've got the head boys basketball job open. Well, hey, that's my best sport. That was my background. I'd love to take it on. I've got some ideas I'd love to try. So it gives me the opportunity, and I fell in love with it. I had 7th and 8th grade boys. They were combined for one team, and we just had a blast together. We had to overcome a lot of obstacles, but in the end, we actually did something pretty special. We won the city championship. I know you might think, hey, it's middle school, but I'm telling you, it was big time, okay? And there's a picture of us right there. We're all raising the ship, and we were pretty pumped up. And, we had some talent. I'll give you one story right now to show you. We had some players, okay? I got one guy, and my host family even knows him. They poured into him. A kid named Devion Smith. Used to call him Bug Eye, all right? I don't know why, but we called him Bug Eye, all right? He comes in. I got Bug on my team, and Bug's pretty good. Bug's about a 6'3", 8th grader, and he can jump, baby, okay? I got Bug at the end of a game, probably about 8 or 9 games in, and I say, hey, we call a timeout. We're up by a bunch. I say, hey, let's see if we can get Bug a dunk. So I'm going to draw up a play. This is what I want you to do to execute it. We all break the huddle. Go. Bug sticks around for a second, and he says, hey, coach. I said, what's up, man? He said, my right hand, it's kind of hurt. Do you care if I dunk with my left hand? And I smiled and I said, you do what you need to do. Okay. I loved it. There were 2 years there. I really felt like God gave me that blessing, that time period, to see some things that I had some success in. I was kind of geared. I was wired towards it. You ever had something like that where you're like, this is just me? But I did a poor job with some of the things that Kate had mentioned. I wasn't very committed to a local church. I didn't have a good community. I neglected some relationships. I didn't have a good balance. I just got so wrapped up into it. I mean, I worked all the time. And so I was drained, like big time. And I wasn't ready to fully commit, even with that experience, to wanting to be a basketball coach for the rest of my life. Found out about the Fellows program from a UT friend, and I did it, and it was incredible. And the thing that made the biggest impact on me was not just the discussions that we had about all these frameworks that she mentioned, but we had so many different models in front of us. You know, I had the pleasure of living with Jet and Paula Taylor. They're in the back right there. You raise your hand. The best. I mean, they're the best, okay? And yeah, you can clap. That's pretty cool. Yeah. But they lived it, okay? They lived it. I had Monica Commode constantly pouring into me, hey, you need to do this, okay? Or different people like that. And it was something that I needed, and it made me feel really good. I'm kind of stubborn, and I still kind of just lingered with it. And what I mean by that was I worked 2 years on the Hill. I worked for Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. I liked it, but I always tried to keep my foot in the door just to like a local school. I'd be like a volunteer assistant for this or something like that. And then I even entered law school. And I don't know why I did it. I kind of think it was one of those deals where like you have so many of your buddies do it. That's dumb, but I did it. And I don't know why. But anyways, and I tried to work it out where I even got hired to be an assistant at a small college while I was down there. Each time, it's kind of like, you need to do this. And then finally, I just felt the calling that, hey, I need to be obedient to this. You know, there's enough of this culture of trying to diversify and have your hand in everything, but you're not getting and pouring into one thing, and you're not truly serving. It took me a while to figure that whole thing out. But once I did, it was one of the best decisions of my life. I dropped out of law school. I was scared to death. I started looking, and then almost immediately, God blessed me with a great head coaching job at a local high school that I was from the area I'm actually from. It's called Spring Hill High School. It's in Longview, Texas. There's a picture of me getting after it right there. And it was good. I mean, I had a chance. It was a good pose, right? But I had a chance to really work on the framework things. I was finally invested. You know, I was obedient. I applied what I learned, all those type things. And met a beautiful woman in the process, married her last year. And then we had a great opportunity kind of fall in our lap at the end of this past year, and that we got a chance to go to Baylor University. And I could coach under Coach Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears. Miss Weber. Come on, all right. And my wife could also work at Baylor, and it's just been such a blessing to us. It's worked out really, really well. But the biggest thing I took from I guess my path is you've got this phase that you're in right now, and you're hit with so many different things. I mean, you're given like a top-notch speaker every week probably or something like that, and so you're taking notes here and there. But at the end of the day, after this period of analysis and reflection, make sure that you then turn it to application and obedience. And that's where the fruit comes. And that's where all this stuff that we're talking about, it's magical. And I'm so, so grateful that I got to be a part of it. And I'm so honored that I got to come back and just share with you about how it influenced me. So I owe you big time still. And thank you so much for listening to me.